All right, fantastic. Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Emily Simpson, and I am the Education Specialist with Select Path. And today we are very, very excited to be introducing Cassandra Parker of Stretch Health. Today we're going to be exploring the whole concept of sitting as the new smoking. So she's really going to take a deep dive into the physiology of desk work and simple and effective stretches that we can all do from our desk to help improve our posture and any sort of chronic muscle stiffness. A little bit about Cassandra is that she graduated from Brock University in 2009 in physiology. She's been working in the health, fitness, and wellness industry for over 21 plus years, from aquatics to physiotherapy assistant to coaching and personal training and rehab therapy. She's also has several years of being an elite level competitive athlete in sports such as track and field, cross country, rowing, wrestling, mountain biking, and competitive obstacle course races such as the Tough Mudder and Spartan. And through her years of being an athlete, Cassandra has learned the hard way, as many of us do, the value of proper rehabilitation programs. So through several injuries, she has really grown to have a love and pride of her own mobility, but also to coach and teach that movement and mobility to her clients, as well as members that she coaches. She currently is a functional fitness and CrossFit coach, as well as a personal trainer. She works with members and clients of all abilities. She has clients with PTSD, MS, as well as Parkinson's, individuals who have acknowledged the need for and have a functional strength training program to maintain or gain strength, movement, and function to live the life that they want. So from sports injuries to pre and post operation, Cassandra has worked with many people to build them back up and to retain their quality of life, which is why we're so excited to have her here today. So without further ado, I will pass the mic to you, Cassandra, and thank you for joining us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Emily. All right. So in terms of desk work and it being termed as the new smoking, finding and working with clients that I have, whether it be personal training or here with Stretch Health, just get you on the table and stretching you out. We're finding a lot of posture issues in terms of like thoracic spine, cervical spine, shoulder issues and limitations in that sense as well. And then also chronic tight hips and lower back issues. Just because we are either sitting for a lot longer than normal, we don't make it a routine to get up every 15 minutes, nor is that necessarily feasible or possible for majority of us to be able to every 15 minutes get up, move, do some stretches, sit back down, get a little bit of work done. So what I would like to do today is, first, if any of you have any questions throughout, please pop them in the question box if there's anything that you'd like me to explain a little bit more. If you specifically have any questions in terms of limitations of your own personal mobility, and if there's a way that I can work around that and what that looks like for yourself in terms of a different stretch for you, or if I can introduce a different stretch or areas where we can improve, whether it be posture or sitting at your desk, different tricks and changes that I have and can share with you guys. Okay, very hands-on. So I'm going to get you guys hopefully to do this with me when all said and done. Okay, if you are sitting at your desk, what I would like you to do is just move away from the back of your chair. So you're wiggling or coming to the front of your seat. So feet are flat on the floor, back is off of the backrest of your chair, and then hands are just nice and relaxed on your knees, allowing those shoulders to be nice and back and stacked over top of those hips. All that we're going to do right now is just a little bit of some cervical spine control. What I mean by cervical spine, your cervical spine is literally what connects your skull to your shoulders, right? So then really making sure that we create movement and mobility through there, because if you sit nice and tall, or if you're on the screens and looking down all the time, depending on what your setup looks like, our spine and our neck gets a lot of wear and tear. All that we're going to do is tuck your chin back, create like a double or a triple chin. You're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and relax back to its neutral position. We're going to now integrate breath with this. So you're going to inhale and tuck that chin back, brace or hold your breath, and then exhale as we release. Okay, nice big breath in. Tuck that chin back. Again, try and create that triple or double chin. And then carefully release. Now what we're going to do is just bring our ear to our shoulder. So starting off with that right ear to right shoulder. As we do that, what I want you to do is just drop that left shoulder away from your ear. You'll notice that you should feel a good stretch right from possibly the base of your ear, maybe from your jaw all the way down through to your shoulder. And carefully release back to neutral position. Now, again, same thing that we did with that double chin. We're going to integrate that breath. So nice big breath in. This time, as we exhale, we're going to bring that ear to shoulder. Feel that stretch. Big breath in. And then exhale, release. Good. We're going to do that one more time. Big breath in. And exhale, bring our ear to shoulder. Big breath in. And exhale, release. Beautiful. Before we go over to the other side, we're just doing a couple of backward shoulder rolls, always backwards, just to reset that posture. Only because we're always so forward. We want to just open up, get that good stretch through the shoulders, through the rib cage, through the chest, and then reset. Beautiful. All right, heading over to the other side. So again, now we're taking that left ear to the left shoulder. So big breath in. And exhale, bring that left ear to your left shoulder. We're dropping that right shoulder. Big breath in. And exhale, bring or stack that chin back up. Yeah, big breath in. And exhale, bring that ear to shoulder. Drop that opposite shoulder away. Good, big breath in. And exhale, return. We're gonna do that one more time. Big breath in. And exhale, ear to shoulder. Big breath in. And release. Beautiful. Again, backward shoulder roll is just a nice and easy release. We're going to take it into something called neck cars. Neck cars or cars is capital C, capital A, capital R, lowercase s. What that stands for is controlled articular rotations. So all of our joints, neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, all of them have a car sequence that we can do. We're going to start off with neck cars and then work our way down a little bit. And what that means is that if you can, we're going to bring our left hand just behind our back, whether it sits in the small of your back. If you're able to get your hand up between those shoulder blades, awesome. If not, then all I want you to do is just sit on that hand so that shoulder is pulled back. Okay. Again, depending on what your range of motion looks like for your shoulder mobility is all that cares for. Now the other arm, you're going to be palm up and just off to the side to a 35, 40 degree angle out away from that body. Okay. So again, really focusing on that posture. Feet are still flat on the floor. Step number one is just tucking that chin into your chest. Once your chin is to your chest, we're going to rotate away from the arm that's tucked behind that back. So we're rotating towards the long arm. Once from here, you'll feel that nice stretch through the side of our neck. From here, you're going to take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lead with your chin, looking up to the ceiling. Feel that stretch transition to the front of your throat, all the way through until you're over to the other side, where you feel that nice side stretch again. And then almost like you want to sniff your armpit, taking your chin down and around that collarbone, back to where we started. Okay, we're gonna do that again. We're doing that 3 times in one direction. So ear to shoulder, feel that nice stretch. That should feel familiar from what we just did before this. Using that chin, we're looking up for the ceiling. Now, if this is too much compression as you go around and through, all I want you to do is stay a little bit more neutral and just bring it over through the midline or through the center, ear to shoulder, okay? And then again, sniff that armpit. We're tucking that chin and then take it back down and around that collarbone. Ear to shoulder. Chin to sky. Ear to shoulder. Up that chin. Chin to chest. Now we're going to go the other direction. Okay, now ear to shoulder, we're going towards or that bent arm, away from that long arm. Again, chin to sky. So one direction might feel a little bit easier than the other direction, depending on where you feel tightness or stiffness. Again, if there's any tightness or stiffness, just be cautious and careful. Don't force anything that's uncomfortable or pulling in any way, okay? Ear to shoulder, chin to sky, ear to shoulder, sniff that armpit, chin to chest. We have one last one in this direction. Ear to shoulder, chin to sky, ear to shoulder, sniff that armpit, and then chin to chest. Now what I want us to do is keep that chin to chest. We're going to release that right arm, that straight arm, bring it in. Carefully, slowly take that hand away from between those shoulder blades or from the small of the back. Again, backward shoulder rolls as you bring your chin back up to that nice neutral position looking forward. Okay, now we got to do the same thing over to the other side. What that is, we're going to bring that right hand behind that back, left arm straight out to the side. Tuck that chin to chest. We're going away from the straight arm first. So ear to shoulder. Chin to ceiling. Careful as you go around and through. Ear to shoulder. Sniff that armpit. All that means is keep that chin tight to that collarbone as we come around and through. Again, 3 in one direction and 3 in the other direction is always a great number to go with. You can do, I wouldn't really do anything more than 5 when all said and done, especially if we just need a quick little break to relax, to release anything that's being pulled through our neck, our shoulders, if we're feeling any stiffness or tightness through those traps. This is always my go-to, just to take probably like 5, no more than 10 minutes to get that release before I have to get back into typing, or even before I start going through emails or responses in that sense. Ear to shoulder, chin to ceiling, ear to shoulder, and chin to chest. Now we get to change directions. So going towards that long arm. Chin to ceiling, carefully around and through. Tuck back down. Nice, low control. Again, same thing. If you're feeling crunchies as you go through and you don't like that sound, then just moderate. Don't go as intense. Just go through that midline. Just pop that ear over to the other shoulder instead of going around back or leading with that chin up to that ceiling. And back down around. Keep that chin to chest. Relax that long arm. Release the hand from behind the back. Couple backward shoulder rolls. And looking forward. Good. From there, all that we're going to do is now take it to our shoulders. Again, a nice little quick shoulder stretch or rotations to do, just to, again, alleviate any tension that might be building up through your traps, through your shoulders, through your posture, just to kind of open up, making sure that you have a little bit of room beside you or around you. Is just taking a big breath. You can either bring your hands together behind your back, or I like to put them like down on my feet underneath my bum, pull my shoulders back, feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. Take a big breath in, allow those lungs to feel like they're expanding outside of that rib cage. And exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. If you have room around you and you have that space, creating that nice open. So you're just going to bring those arms up and out. Get that big stretch. Even use that lever or that leverage to those arms just to get a little extra stretch through that chest. And then as you exhale, we're going to emphasize, think of taking those elbows to your knees, spread those shoulder blades apart, feel that stretch through the upper to mid back, and then big breath in. And exhale. Get a big breath in. And exhale. And then one last one, big breath in. And exhale. And relax. Okay. Last one is thinking of just reaching, adding in a nice big stretch, releasing our lats into our obliques. Believe it or not, those get super, super tight. And whether it be individuals that I have worked on here in the clinic, just getting that good stretch, finding just shoulder restriction in areas of limitation. Like we do something called a scratch test as an assessment. So it's just reaching up and around and through, and then trying to touch your fingers together between those shoulder blades. More often than not, we find that there's restriction through the front, so through the shoulder and into the chest, which then is caused through tightness through our lats and potentially our obliques. Same thing in terms of that internal rotation, taking it down and through, limit, or there's tightness in behind that shoulder blade. And just as we get that good stretch and release, allows more movement and mobility to take place. So from there, getting the nice big breath in, all that you're going to do is a big sweep up, fingers up to that ceiling, and then tip over like you're reaching for the opposite corner of that room. As you reach, you'll notice taking that shoulder to your ear so you get a good stretch through that shoulder blade, which opens up from that rib cage all the way down to that hip. And then carefully release, bring that arm down. And we're going to switch over to the other side. So we're going to alternate these guys. So big breath in and exhale. Back to center and release. Back over to the other side. Nice big breath in. Sweep that arm up, reach and tip. Back to center and release. Over to the other side. Nice big breath in. Sweep those fingertips all the way up to the ceiling and reach. Feel that stretch through and release and relax back down. One last time for each side. Nice big breath in. Sweep that arm up. Get that extra reach and hip. And release. Bring that arm back down, switch it over to the other side. Last time, big breath in, sweep that arm up. And exhale, reach. Back to center and release. Again, backward shoulder rolls and nice and relaxed there. Okay, last one that we're going to do for more so of our thoracic to mid spine is just a nice little twist or bind. Okay, just to get that stretch through our mid region. And sitting in our chairs, all that we're going to do, feet are flat on the floor. Think of taking that right hand, reaching behind or reaching to the back of your chair. The left arm is just going to reach to the outside of that right knee and look over your right shoulder. Take a big breath in and exhale. Look over that shoulder a little bit more. Take a big breath in. Exhale, look over that shoulder a little bit more. One last one, big breath in. And exhale, look over that shoulder a little bit more. And then on this last big breath in. And exhale, we carefully release and come back to the front. We're gonna do the same thing over to the other side. Okay. Left hand reaches behind or to grab hold of the backrest. Right hand reaches to the outside of that left knee. Look over that left shoulder, big breath in. And exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. And then on this last one, big breath in. Exhale and fully release back. Okay. Good. So we have neck, shoulders, torso. Last one that we're going to do is like our wrists and fingers. If we are typing more often than not or all day, then our wrists in terms of our carpals get really agitated or even start to lose sense of feeling or numbness at nighttime. So really giving them a really good stretch as well. All that we're going to do is reach that left arm straight forward. Right hand is going to come in front and just give that nice gentle pull. What I want you to do is lock out that elbow though, as we pull those fingers towards us. Again, if that's too much, then carefully just soften that elbow or use that desk in front of you as a leverage, and you dictate a little bit less or the increase of that stretch for yourself, okay? Roughly holding for about 10 seconds. And then as you release, you're just gonna very carefully release that tension and do some wrist rotations, fingertips to the floor. And then again, just nice and gentle, we're putting some pressure to the back. You should feel that stretch through the top of your forearm. And carefully release. Again, one last time, fingertips to the ceiling. Pull back, get that nice stretch through the forearms. And release, fingertips to the floor. And 5 to 10 seconds. And carefully release, and then over to the other side. Again, fingertips to the ceiling. Again, one side might feel a little bit easier than the other. Just be mindful and careful of that. And don't go too crazy in terms of the amount of pressure. You don't need to really wrench on those fingertips. A little bit of pressure does go a long way, and you will feel that stretch. So carefully release, fingertips to the floor. Carefully release, fingertips to the ceiling. Again, you'll notice the more that you integrate or do some of these stretches, the better the stretch or the greater range of motion you'll be able to attain. It will also help alleviate any pain that you might be feeling through your forearms, through your hands, through your elbows, all the way up to your shoulders. Carefully release, fingertips to the floor. Last time. Good, and relax and release. Just some nice wrist rotations. Okay, and then our last one, we're going to place our palms together as best as you can. Don't let the heels of the palms come apart, okay? And then try to bring those elbows straight out to the side without lifting up those shoulders. So shoulders back and relaxed. And then all that we're looking at is now creating rotation. So you're gonna rotate those fingers. Think of like drawing a line between the center of your chest. You should feel that stretch, whether it be all the way up into those fingertips. If your heel of the palm starts to release, that's fine. Really try and challenge yourself to keep them together. Now you're going to rotate the fingertips away and try to bring that baby finger down towards the belly button. So creating that nice rotation through stretch as well. And then rotate back up. This one is a nice one that you can do and you can work with your breath. So it's like a nice inhale and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And release those hands. Some nice wrist rotations just to relax both directions. And release from there. Okay. Last one is a little bit of dexterity. So those fingers need a little bit of love. Okay? And all that is a nice easy one. You're gonna do thumb to baby, thumb to ring, thumb to middle, and then thumb to index, and then work your way back through. As you do go between, always try to keep the fingers that aren't being worked nice and long and stretched. Don't let it come in with the finger that's coming to the thumb. Good. And release, and then relax from there. All right. I'm going to open up to you guys. If you guys have any questions in terms of any of the stretches that we have done so far in terms of neck, shoulders, forearms, wrists, fingers, areas that you might have questions of or about in terms of posture or desk work, things that you might have noticed for yourself in any of the stretches that we've done or in any of the sequences or stretches that you might do already. More than welcome to put it in the chat box. How often do you recommend taking stretch breaks? I mean, every 20 minutes, ideally. However, is that plausible? No, probably not. Anytime that you get up to go to the washroom or you get up to get more water, is a good time or a great opportunity for you to take a couple minutes as well and do a couple stretches before you sit back down and get back into work. I do have a client that I worked with. So he's a programmer for a software company, and he's created an alarm that goes off every 35 minutes for him to do his banded shoulder openers, and I believe some of his dexterity work as well with his fingers, just to make sure that his forearms and his upper back don't get all cramped, because he can work pretty much for like a full day from like 9 until 9 sometimes if he doesn't pay attention to the clock. Yes. So is it better to do more frequent small stretches or more in-depth version once a day? I always go with more frequent small stretches. That's easier to do, and you don't feel like you're monopolizing or taking too much time from what you want to do or what you need to do in your day's work. It's easier to take a couple minutes here and there, and you'll be more functional when you actually get back to the computer to do your work, opposed to like wiggling around or like always being uncomfortable. I like small bursts of stretches, and then it just allows you to focus a little bit more too on going, opposed to a large, like a half-hour good deep stretch, and then having to sit down and get into doing some more work again. Will a list of the stretches you reviewed be shared afterward? Yes, I can send Emily a PDF for you guys with whether it be like YouTube clips to follow along. I know this has been recorded as well, so I'm not too sure if that gets emailed to the team afterwards. But yes, I'll send in another email, a PDF to Emily with some of the videos, YouTube videos, and clips or description of the exercises that we've done today or stretches that we've done today, for sure.
Thankfully, the Select Path team, Jeff over here, is fantastic. He'll upload this recording to our YouTube. So if you ever want to be guided through the same session again, it'll always be hubbed just on the Select Path YouTube page. It's fantastic.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah. Does anyone have areas that they already kind of like are worried or concerned with, that they felt uncomfortable doing any of the stretches that we did today? No? I mean, I'm a big fan of standing desks personally. I'm always a mover. I sit on a stability ball if I'm sitting down. I'm sitting in a chair right now, but at home, at my desk at home, I sit on my stability ball, because I can always kind of move around. And I feel like I'm always working on my posture and core at the same time. Yeah. I mean, Lindsay, I'm glad that it was effective. And in terms of the areas and issues that you've been having with, is hopefully if you were to do this a little bit each day progressively, maybe not as intensely, or starting to integrate a little bit of a routine, like a before work, lunch routine, and then after work, hopefully you might find some benefits from that as well. And then just put things into a rhythm for yourself and create what suits you best, right? There's no must do, or there's no specific Bible saying you must do these stretches to feel this and this. There's so much information out there that some stretches that I did for you guys today, you might not feel benefit from, but there might be a different variation that you try or that you found, or that could work better for you with limitations that you have at home or anything like that. Oh, that's a good one. What do I recommend for hips? I'm a huge one, as I was starting to for standing desks. And if you know the pigeon pose or have ever heard of the pigeon pose, that is my go-to. But if you are sitting in your chair, a good one for stretches, but it also goes for a little bit more of like the glute and back. Figure 4, that is my ultimate go-to. Like this already right now, EA, sometimes you might not be able to get into it right away, or you feel like you kind of have to like sacrifice a little bit of your posture to be able to attain that. You're just going to release that opposite leg a little bit more. I put one hand on my knee, one hand on my foot, and take a big breath in and try to push that knee down and away. You're going to hold for 5 seconds. Start off with 5. Don't go too crazy on me. And then carefully release. Allow that knee to kind of butterfly or just float. And then you're going to go again. Create that activation. As you always activate, always elongate that spine though. So sit nice and tall. Push that knee down and away. Again, 5 seconds. And then carefully release. And relax. Let that knee float. And then I like to do 3. 3 is a good number because you'll feel differences with each one that you do. Okay. And then obviously release and just kind of stretch that leg out and extend. And then over to the other side, same sort of thing. Figure 4, press that knee down and away, sit nice and tall. If this stretch, you don't feel like you're getting a good stretch through the hip or you're feeling it somewhere else, then a good way to change it would this be just extend and extend the opposite leg. Just keep that heel in front. Use your posture as the device. So extend your legs, but now bring your chest to knee, chin to toe to get a little bit of a stretch. Sometimes this is more of like a hamstring, lower back sort of idea, but it will still help release what's going on here through the back of your glutes and your lower back so that you can get a little bit more mobility through and into your figure 4. So yeah, those are my go-to for like if we're sitting and looking to do a hip stretch for yourself. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Cassandra. I know I took a lot away from today, and I know a bunch of other people did as well. So thank you again for joining us, and for everyone who's on our next Exemplify, I can keep an eye out on our social media, but otherwise have a great rest of your afternoons.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me. And thank you, Emily, for reaching out. This was awesome.